Hello! We are making a salmon salad. So last time, or on Monday, when we made salmon, I was going on and on about how easy the recipe was. This one's even easier. And this is also coming from my meal plan, 30 and 30. And the idea of this salad was that it's meant to be a leftover. So this was actually a lunch meal, and I'm having it for dinner tonight. It works either way, of course. But the main point of like being able to save time from this one is cooking extra salmon for the last salmon recipe that we made on Monday, which was the sesame salmon, which you can still see on my feed. And then in the instructions in the meal plan, I tell you to cook extra salmon so that you have leftover to make the salad. So that way, come lunchtime or dinner time, you want a really easy meal, you put some veggies together with a really easy dressing that we're gonna make, and that's it. So I have the oven preheating to 415 Fahrenheit, and I'm going to bake the salmon this time. Last time we pan fried it, and again, in this recipe, your salmon should already be cooked, but I'm just gonna show you how easy it is to bake salmon. It's gonna take, especially with this size salmon, it's gonna be not even 10 minutes. But before we even do that, since the oven is preheating, I'm going to grab some kale. And so what I like to do is I grab full heads of kale at the store, and then we usually just clean them and break them down. Brett cleaned this one. Thank you, Brett.
You're welcome.
So this is adult kale, and we usually use it for smoothies, but I wanted to use kale in this recipe because that's what I have in the recipe, but you can literally use any green. So I'm gonna do spinach and kale. I have arugula, but I wanted to do kale today as I haven't had any. So to make it easier to eat and easier to digest and just overall like more enjoyable in my opinion, we're gonna do something called massaging the kale. So you just drizzle a little bit of olive oil on the kale, and then I'm gonna do like a little bit of salt, just because it also helps break down the kale's cells and the enzymes. So it makes it, again, easier to digest. Oh my God.
Struggling out of the gate.
Easier to digest. And the olive oil just kind of helps massaging it. Just like using oil on your body. It's the same idea. Just makes everything smoother. So just toss the kale around. And in the recipe, I have 2 big handfuls. So it seems about 2 big handfuls. But I'm going to put a bunch of spinach in too. And I'm making this recipe for 2. Whereas the recipe in the meal plan is for 1. But anyways. So massaging the kale, you literally take kale leaves and then you just literally massage it. And you just break it down, and like you can do this for up to like 10 to 15 minutes. I'm gonna do it a little bit quicker, but you'll start to notice that it gets darker in color. Like it, you know, I'll show you like a comparison. So this is when I have a massage, and then as you break it down with your thumbs in the oil, it gets darker and darker. And so that's the cells and the enzymes of the kale breaking down, which is gonna make it easier to chew. It's gonna make it appear smaller, so you're not just getting these like giant, like crunchy pieces of kale that like honestly are not super easy to eat, in my opinion. So you don't have to work like one piece at a time. I was just showing you, but yeah, so you can tell like the color difference. And you can keep going. You could do this for, again, 5 to 10 minutes, but I'm just gonna quickly massage it just to sort of like minimize the volume. You could also use, I hate how much the oven beeps.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. Just a couple would be all right.
You could also use baby kale if you wanted. You could, again, use any kind of green, but I love kale, and I know that's like a thing that people probably are sick of hearing me and a lot of other people saying, but it really is such an amazing, detoxifying, nourishing vegetable. Kale is a cruciferous vegetable. Kale is a cruciferous vegetable, and if you don't know what that means, I actually have a post not too far back kind of going into what cruciferous means. It's basically a group of vegetables that are all in the same family, so that would be broccoli, cauliflower, arugula is actually at 1 too, radishes, kohlrabi, now I'm blanking on other ones. Kale is one of my favorites. Cauliflower and kale are my 2 favorite cruciferous vegetables, and so it's super high in vitamin K, really good source of vitamin A, and then they also naturally help you detoxify. So like the minerals and the vitamins in kale naturally aid as a detoxifying agent in your body. And I'm not talking like a detox is gonna make you shit yourself. I'm talking like detox, like help get your blood flowing, like help keep everything moving in your body and like push out the bad stuff that you're getting from just everyday life. So even eating 1 cup of cruciferous vegetables a day can like drastically change your health and get you on to the fast track of a higher blood count from that vitamin K and keeping everything just stabilized. So try to mix in cruciferous vegetables when you can. If you want more info on that, again, let me know. I have a whole post written about it. So that's about as much as I'm going to massage it right now. Should I do more?
No, I think that's probably all right. You
can really keep going.
massage the shit out of that.
Yeah, I did. So, 2 bowls there, 1 for each. And then now that the oven is preheated, I'm going to put the salmon in the oven and we're going to very quickly bake that. So any safe pan works. What?
Tia says it makes your farts stabilize.
Kale does?
Yeah.
Makes your farts stinky and stabilize. If you do, it actually is true though, if you eat more raw vegetables, raw cruciferous vegetables especially, they're actually high in that sulfur. So like broccoli, like the smell of broccoli, like that's because it's high in sulfur. And so if you're eating a lot of raw vegetables all the time, it can make you pretty gassy. And so it really is person to person. If you are able to digest a lot of those vegetables really easily, go for it, because you're like the nutrients in the vegetables are more bioavailable to you that way without cooking them. But if you're like really sensitive and have a hard time digesting, something like massaging or steaming your broccoli and your cauliflower really make a big difference. And your farts will stink less.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, there's no guarantee. I don't guarantee.
There's no guarantee.
All right, so salmon on parchment paper because I don't like to clean up. And then I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit of olive oil. And that's kind of a lot.
Quite a bit.
That's fine. I'm actually just gonna use my hands and sort of like rub it in because I don't have one of those little cool brushes.
We should get one.
We should get one. Although I feel like I would still just use my hands.
Yeah, seems easier. Then you gotta clean the thing after.
Any other questions?
No, none so far.
Okay.
I'm sure some will pop up.
I hope so. But this is such an easy meal. Like, we're gonna be done before you know it, Brett. And then you don't have to be my number 1 cameraman.
Who's number 2?
Don't worry about it. All right, so a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm super minimally going to season the salmon because we're gonna make our own homemade dressing for this salad, which is also really easy. But I don't want to add too much flavor to the salmon because, frankly, I don't think it needs it. And we're all about simplicity here. Like, this meal really should be taking you, without having to cook it, you're done, all things said, 15 minutes, not even. This is gonna take a little longer because I'm talking, but. So salt, pepper, I think I'll do a little bit of garlic powder. You want any other seasonings on it?
No, it should be alright.
Yeah, I'm just really keeping it simple. If you want to get really fancy too, or not even fancy, but like take that extra step, I like sometimes adding fresh lemon, which is really nice, but we're gonna have citrus in our dressing, so it really doesn't need it. And so I talked a lot about salmon in the last video. You can still watch that if you want to learn more, but I just really talked about like the difference of buying fresh and frozen and how I obviously prefer to buy fresh. But this was previously frozen. It's a wild caught, I believe it's an Alaskan salmon. So it's not like the best Class A salmon we can get, but like for this dressing, or sorry, for this salad in the middle of the winter, it's gonna work. And it only, because it's so thin and like the fillets are quite small, it's gonna take maybe 5 minutes in the oven. So it's at 4:15, I'll pop it in, set a mental timer.
Oh yeah, that's smart.
What?
Mental timer? Yeah, we're really good at that.
I'm definitely gonna remember that.
6:12. We're alright.
Thank you. I'm going to sharpen my knife really quickly because I'm going to cut up some tomatoes and I personally find tomatoes to be one of the hardest things to cut with a really dull knife because you just, you try
Just
to like
mush the whole thing.
yeah, and then it just explodes, especially grape or cherry tomatoes. So I just gave my knife a quick sharpen. A serrated knife works even better for tomatoes because then you can like, break it. But I don't want to dirty up dishes because I'm lazy. So this salad has, see, that's like gonna take me a while. I feel
you
like
mushed it already a bit.
yeah. Maybe I will use a serrated knife.
Yeah, I think that's probably better.
Because these tomatoes
just
are
explode.
kind of soft. Yeah. And
I think you gotta like jab it with the end so you make a hole with that one and then like cut into it.
It's the same with bread. Like rather than just like forcing it down, like you want to like cut it and then break through it with serrated, like any kind of serrated knife. It's so much faster.
Yeah,
so.
wheels right through.
Are you okay with like bigger pieces of tomatoes? Or do you want me to cut them?
No, that's fine.
I don't actually love big chunks of tomatoes personally. I don't even know. I'm gonna taste one because they're actually pretty good. Lately, I don't think these are even greenhouse tomatoes, but tomatoes are like, I have a weird relationship with them. They typically don't have any flavor in my opinion when they're not freshly grown. Like I don't know if anyone saw when I was with my parents this summer, they were growing their own heirloom tomatoes and they were seriously the best tomatoes I've ever tasted in my life. Like fresh from the garden, I'd pick them right off and like I could eat them, like take a bite, and I don't really like tomatoes that much, but they're that good. Whereas these are flavorful, but like I can tell that they're not fresh. And so again, like this is not a very wintry meal, but we're going with it.
We make it work up here.
We make it work in the middle of winter.
In the middle of nowhere.
You can get greenhouse tomatoes, but I still don't think that they taste as good, to be 100% honest. And also, speaking of winter in this recipe, I actually created this recipe and many of the recipes from my 30 and 30 meal plan in, I think it was July or early summer. So a lot of these recipes are actually tailored to summer-esque ingredients. So like I typically wouldn't ask people to get like all this fresh produce, especially blueberries, which I'll get to, in the middle of the winter because they don't taste like anything.
Oh god, getting a work call. Multitasking here. Can I call you later?
I'll be done. I'm gonna add a little more spinach to the bowl. How's that look?
Let me see. Yes, looks excellent.
More is better because I don't know if anyone knows this, but spinach, well, I'm sure everyone knows that when you cook spinach, it literally like depletes into nothing. But a serving of spinach is actually like half of this carton because it's like pretty much water and then it just breaks down into nothing. So I fill the bowls right up with greens. So spinach, kale, tomato. Like when I made this recipe, I thought, oh, what a nice, really pretty looking summer salad. Like a easy dressing or salad to make in the winter. Maybe not, but we're gonna go for it. And then blueberries. So these are from Mexico and I'm really sad about it, but it's the only kind that I can find. They are organic. I tasted them earlier. They're quite sour because obviously they're not fresh and they came from, we're extremely far away from Mexico and it hurts me to even like buy them right now. But I want to follow this recipe and like a little bit of an antioxidant boost is not a bad thing. I hope you don't mind blueberries in your salad, Brett.
I do not.
Getting them now. He usually doesn't like fruit and salad, but I may have, what's the word? Switched you to the fruit side. So yeah, normally like in the winter I don't even buy berries, to be honest. Like if I can't find them fresh, it's just like kind of pointless to me unless I'm like really craving fruit. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, absolutely not will I buy blueberries if they're not local. Local is obviously best, but I just kind of wanted to do this by the recipe and we're just gonna pretend that I got them here. Well, before I forget, we are garnishing the salad with pumpkin seeds, so I'm just going to add a little bit to a pan. Toast. You okay? Yep. I'm going to toast them because I always typically buy my pumpkin seeds raw. And I've mentioned this during the oatmeal live that I did last, is that that's just how I buy them. Like you don't have to buy them raw, but that's just like the kind that I like better. So I just add them to a pan with a little bit of olive oil and let them toast and get like a nice brown color, and then they're warm, which is also a nice component too.
And it just makes them taste better for some reason, I guess.
Yeah, because when you eat
blueberries,
seeds and nuts raw, they actually do have a harder time digesting. So same thing as the kale, like breaking down those enzymes. What you really want to be doing with pumpkin seeds is soaking them so that you're like sprouting them. But I didn't do that, so we're gonna toast them. So it does kind of activate it a little bit. Not quite the same, but close enough. So those are the main parts of the salad. I can do the avocado now. Yeah, so it's tomato, avocado, blueberry, pumpkin seed, salmon, dressing.
Super easy.
Yeah.
5:12. It's been 6 minutes on our salmon tire.
I'll check it. I don't think it's done, but I'll check. I'm gonna give it another 2 minutes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Alright, so do you want to use the whole avocado or just a half? Because we already had some of the
Quite a bit of avo. Probably the half would be all right then.
Yeah, I kind of think so too. I had a whole half for breakfast. So I always cut it in the shell.
Let me see.
Like I just do a little lattice work there. And then, I don't
Just
know.
scoop it right out.
And then I just scoop it right out. To me, that's the easiest way to do it. But to each their own.
I don't know what other way you would cut avocado.
Well, you could peel it.
Just try to like take a peeler and just peel the whole thing right
you
out.
can just like peel the skin and then cut it on the cutting board. But I find this way to be a little bit less messy. This is a good avocado. Nice choice. Nice pick. Do you think that's a good then? Or should I do more?
It looks pretty excellent, Ty. I have to say.
I would agree.
And what's up? Just the salmon and then some sauce and away we go?
Yeah, we're just going to make the dressing quick and then we're done.
Sauce, dressing.
Really easy. Already got it out. Alright, so olive oil. Recipe calls for 1/4 of a cup. I'm going to do a little bit extra because I personally really like a good amount of dressing on my salad, especially when it's really nice ingredients like this. Organic olive oil. So I went a little bit over. I don't know what that is. But you could also just eyeball it, drizzle olive oil over your salad, and then...
It's normally what we do, hey?
Yeah,
for the
like
most part, is just...
My favorite dressing right now is just apple cider vinegar and olive oil. So the recipe for this salad actually calls for red wine vinegar. Honestly, red wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, white vinegar, balsamic, they're all really interchangeable, especially when it comes to salad. But right now...
With the olive oil.
With olive oil, but I am on a kick with apple cider right now. I'm not really getting a lot of probiotics in my body, or in my diet and my body, and apple cider vinegar is fermented, and this one has the mother, so that's when you get like the little gunk on the bottom of the glass.
With the mother.
And so I actually like to put some in my water in the mornings, and I'll drink that, but wherever I can add it into my food, I do.
And how much did you use there? Just like what, 2
about
tablespoons?
2 tablespoons. I probably am honestly going to add more. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons, so I'm just going to taste it, and then we'll go from there. But honey, about 1 tablespoon. That's kind of a lot. So this is just an organic honey. It's not raw. We finished our raw honey, but that's okay. The only other raw honey right now has cinnamon, so I don't want to use that.
Might not be good. Oh, keep hitting my elbow.
I think that's done. So you can see all the fat kind of, don't let that deter you. It's totally fine.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Looks good to me.
Yeah. And then I can hear the pumpkin seeds kind of sizzling. So they're getting nice and toasty. I'll just let that sit until the last minute when we're done.
And that'll be the garnish on top.
I'm actually going to take this with me too because I don't want the salmon to keep cooking, because I talked about this a lot last time. I do not like overcooked salmon. I want it to be nice and soft. I don't want to have to chew it. I want it to be slightly raw on the inside. Because a lot of times you're meant to, get a temperature on your salmon, like when you go to eat. And then when I go out and then it's just overcooked, I'm not happy.
Oh, it just drives you nuts.
Oh my gosh. So some freshly cracked pepper. One time I measured out, I had one of these for salt. One time I measured out, like I counted a crank. So like exactly what half a teaspoon or a teaspoon was. And I think it was like 20 cranks was a half a teaspoon. And so I like will count every time.
Got right into
I
it.
crank the pepper and the salt. I don't do that anymore though. A little bit of salt. No cranks needed. And that's the dressing. But I'm gonna add, and it's in the recipe too, a little bit of oregano. I love the flavor of oregano in a vinaigrette. So just a couple little dashes.
Super easy though.
Yeah. Oh, we got some pumpkin seeds popping
Oh
over there.
jeez.
And this is a really, like, honestly, I don't remember the last time we've bought salad dressing.
No,
Like,
we never buy it.
I don't have it. Like, I like ranch. Actually, I don't really like ranch that much.
Caesar.
But I like Caesar.
Yeah.
There's a couple of really nice salad dressings.
It's
that
hard
you
to
can
compete
buy.
though. It's hard to
So why-
compete when you can just make your own and it's 10 times better. You
Olive
know.
oil, a little honey, because now like so many salad dressings in stores have like palm oil and sugar and corn syrup and like sunflower oil and just all these ingredients that are completely unnecessary. Like honestly, olive oil, lemon,
Yeah.
olive oil, apple cider vinegar.
All you need.
And I'm just doing salt, pepper, oregano to zazz it up a little bit, but like it's not.
And really, you don't gotta like measure it. Yeah, like for the most part, you can eyeball it as long as you got a good ratio of.
Yeah, it's
your
usually 2
vinegar
to 1
and,
olive
like,
oil
yeah.
to acid. I was a little more, but I'm gonna do it. I don't know. I like the
It'll be alright.
I like the vinegar. So that's it. Yeah, it's good. I could even almost add more vinegar, but I'm not going to. I clearly like my food a little zippy. You making fun of my,
Yes, I
my
am.
culinary slang.
Mm-hmm.
So the pumpkin seeds are nice and brown.
Ooh, yeah, they look ready to go.
Yeah. There's olive oil on my spoon, so this is live. This is
raw. This
Yeah.
is real.
This is real time, guys. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to them. Just brings out the flavor. And that's it. Like we're done. Oh, actually, I'm gonna wait on that. Fork. Any questions or anything?
No, we've had a lot of traffic, but been pretty quiet. Nicole invited a bunch of her work friends, so they filtered in and out. Got a couple follows. Love to see it.
I just want people to make these recipes.
What?
All right, so again, that's just fat. Don't worry about it. It's all good for your brain. Literally, fish has, I'll say this again, loaded in omega-3 fatty acids, really good healthy fats, and those are the kind of fats that quite literally, again, fuel your brain. So like that's the stuff that like keeps all your fat in your brain working really well, and so it's just gonna fuel your entire body. And so I like to have salmon. I don't eat it once a week necessarily, but I do try to have fish once a week. And this is the salad, guys.
Easy.
And I'll drizzle over the dressing. And I actually also have a little bit of quinoa left from Monday when we made the sesame salmon with cauliflower and quinoa.
Probably had that.
I think I'm gonna add it into salmon because Brett and I are both like really hungry right now, and as much as I love the salad as it is, why not add the extra quinoa? And I don't really know what else I'm gonna do with that right now, so I'll probably just put it in there. If you're okay with that, Brett.
I'm
Just
okay.
mix it all up.
We got Diarra, Tiana, and Savon.
My families are my biggest supporters. I love you guys.
Oh god.
Again, not a very wintry salad, but like I said, I didn't make this recipe in the winter, so we're just going for it.
That reminds us of better times.
The summer. Okay, that's it. So I'm gonna add quinoa in because I have it, but this is my salmon salad ready in 15 minutes. I don't know how long we've been going, but The salmon took, 7 minutes to cook, not even. Like, it probably could take less. You could also air fry it. You could pan fry it, which we did on Monday. So that's what gets you that nice crispy skin. But baking it is so easy because you just put it in and walk away and it's good to go. This is an amazing lunch. Also going to be an amazing dinner. And you're getting a bunch of healthy fats. You're getting fiber. You're getting antioxidants. You're getting magnesium from the pumpkin seeds, zinc. So many good nutrients that everyone should be fueling up on right now. And I'm really excited to eat it. So thank you guys for watching. I love you, my family. I will be back on Monday, and I'm making a... Is your finger over the...
Nope.
Oh. I am making a chickpea, cauliflower, carrot, sheet pan meal on Monday, so I will see you guys for then. But until now, bon appetit.